Hey, seventh graders. So let's start moving forward again on our Kiva project. Our event is going to be at the end of this month on that Friday, October 27th. A lot of you have started your games, and we are going to spend some time working on games. Maybe today, if you have time in class, definitely our next class. At the beginning of class, we're going to spend some significant time before we get into Unit 2 working on just improving and building your games. So, at this moment, I wanted to take some time to just remind you what this is all about, what we've done so far, what we've talked about so far. Remember the motivation for doing this project. If you don't, I'm going to talk about it in a second. Where did the idea come from? Why we're doing the cardboard arcade games? Why are we doing that? And maybe some things we haven't quite talked about yet, but are important to this project because it is a service learning project. And that is why are loans important? Uh, what do people do with the money? Why is it important to have access to a bank and loans? And finally, what people on the Kiva website use their loan money for. What are they hoping to achieve or accomplish, okay? So remember the motivation of the project. I've been involved with trying to help different organizations and people a lot in my life, my adult life, and a lot of it goes back to, like with Kiva, I remember that man that was building that shelter across the street and how we just kind of stared at him. We'd just never seen anything like that before. And one of those first realizations that there are people in our world that might need a little extra help. They don't have the same resources as maybe my family did or others. And of course, the cardboard games. We looked at Kane, that boy. He's now a man. This is about 10 years ago. But that boy Kane in Southern California, who built all those cardboard games. You can see some behind him there. And it went viral, and it inspired like cardboard creating clubs all around our country. That's why we're going to make those desktop games or games that can go on the floor, but they're not that big. So why is it important to be able to get a loan? Why is it important to have access to a bank? Well, we're talking about finance right now. And banks help people a number of different ways. Banks can help people with storing their money and helping them plan what to do with their money. But it's this having an access to a loan that is most important. And around our country, there are plenty of banks. There's no shortage of banks in the United States. When you go home tonight, when you're driving home with somebody, just look out the window. Get off the phone, right? Look out the window, and you're going to see banks all over the place. Okay, now this isn't the same for other countries in the world. We're considered a first world country. We have tons of resources. We have advanced technology. We are probably in our fourth or fifth industrial revolution. But other places around the world have never really experienced that. And so they might have some banks in big cities, a few. But when you get away from those cities, there aren't really many banks. This one here is supposed to be some kind of a rural bank somewhere in South America. But there aren't many. And so if there aren't many banks, then how do you get a loan? And in some places around the world, some people can't get a loan because they're female. They're just denied. Or they don't have any kind of established history with a bank. Because a bank will say, hey, we don't know really who you are. You don't seem to have a steady income. You seem to be too risky for us to give a loan to. And so it's really frustrating that people can't get a loan. And here's the most important thing. It's important to be able to get a loan because loans help make our lives better. It's that simple. loans help make our lives better. People in your own family, you live in a home that probably at one time or still has a loan on it. You're able to have your parents are able to get that home because they were able to secure a loan. The vehicles that people drive, many people are driving in cars that they only have because they're able to get a car loan. Go to school. You're at a school, it's a great example. Some people have to take out loans, especially in college, to help pay for going to school. But all of those things lead to something good for human beings, right? Having a good home, being able to drive, in a vehicle, going to school, they all have a good ending to them if you use these loans right and pay them off. So in Kiva, most of the loans are going to go towards people who are entrepreneurs. They have some kind of a store, maybe a very simple kind of a store you'll see in a little bit, or they're farmers, agriculture. And the reason why having these entrepreneurs be able to get a chance to have a loan is the effect on the community. I mean, think about a store or farming, how people benefit for something like that, what the store sells, or hear what people grow. And it also could employ other people too. People use loans to help them with constructing some kind of a shelter or improving on it. Here's an example of a home in the Philippines, I think. Very different from your home, I'm sure. This one doesn't look like it has any windows. They just don't need it there. Although you've got to think it's probably kind of buggy. But for people living in something like this, is a vast improvement. And because they're living in something that looks like this, that can keep them safe, other things out, is probably more sanitary, can really help with their lives. And then, of course, people use loans to be able to go to school. There's a school somewhere in South America. Very different from your classroom, I think. Just a few students in there. Okay, so let's see the Kiva website here. Go there. All right, here we are. This is our Kiva website that we will be making our loans. They'll help us make those loans later when we're all done. With the money that you raise from your games, we'll be adding it to our overall money, which is here, available to lend. Right now, that's just waiting for you, and the money they'll add to it to lend to different people. And you can see we still have some outstanding loans. This is money that's still out there from students last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that happen to make longer loans to people. Let's take a look at some lending stats. So we have lent, you can see here, to people in all these countries. All of those countries. Look at all that. And it's always kind of cool. You can see sometimes countries where you have not made a loan yet. Sometimes countries will pop on that list if Kiva's now got a presence there in that country. And sometimes they come off the list. There's just, Kiva lost its ability to be in that country. It'd be great to make a loan to any of these places this year. A sector is a certain part of like industry, like what people are working in. You can see some examples here, like the agricultural sector, the clothing sector. All right, these are where our loans have gone to. We haven't done one to wholesale. Wholesale is like Costco. Somebody that might supply something for a region. That's okay. I'm not worried about what sector you choose. You can always explore these because you can get on the Kiva site anytime. These are different, more specific type of jobs in those sectors. You can see some that we've done, like cafes, auto repair, animal sales, blacksmith, and then other sectors that we've not got into yet. This is a list of all the different lending partners. These are banks that are on the ground in these countries helping people out. Kiva's a middleman. We go through Kiva. They give us the information for who needs the loan, and we make that loan, but it goes through these different banks because those people are living in the community with the people that need the loans. There's a whole bunch of them. Now let's see if we can take a look at some of our loans in the past. And that'll wrap up our little discussion today. So you can see how much money that we have lent in the past. We have made over $51,000 in loans. This year we'll go over probably $55,000. This is what's been repaid. Yes, we lose money. Some people default on loans. There's currency exchanges because money's not valued the same in other places of the world. We've had some loans that didn't make it, and we got refunded our money. A delinquency rate is people that are late on repaying the loans. So 1 in 5 of our loans, people kind of fall behind, but they pay them. Default rate is when people default on the loan. They're not paying it back for whatever reason. They're deceased. War is broken out in that country. They took off. Who knows? We've lost some money there, almost $1,000. But it's only 2%. 98% of the people benefit from our loans. That's really, really, really good. Money we've lost because of currency exchanges that I was talking about. These are all the loans repaid, paying back. They're delinquent, they're behind. I've had 20 loans end in default, and we've made 453 loans. And so here are some of the people. This is what it looks like. This was somebody last year. We'll just take a look at Huang here. She got a loan. We helped her make a loan of $75. She was looking for $2,000. So other people helped her. It's called crowdfunding, crowd lending. Okay, that's this form of microfinance. And she's repaid it looks like about 67% of it. But she had a 17-month loan, so she still got time. And she wanted to go to school, I think. Yeah, see right there? And we'll just take a quick look at her. I'll tell you a little story about her. All the information that you need about why this loan is special, how long it is. There she is. What the loan is for. It's in Vietnam. 44 and trying to get to school. Single mom. Okay, you kind of see some things. These are all the people that have made 72 different lenders to help her out. And we are just one of them. Somewhere we're in there. Where are we? There we are. Mr. M Students, Germantown, Wisconsin. Okay, and some interesting things. The average annual income in Vietnam is only $5,600. In our country, it's like $55,000. Okay, all right. That gives you a look at Kiva, what we're going to be doing, why we're doing this, and I will see you guys start working on your games here as soon as you're done with this, whether it's today or next class.